What if the world you see is only a fraction of what truly exists around you? Not hidden away in some far-off galaxy, nor locked behind some secret vault, but layered right over the life you already live. Every day, you move through this hidden realm without even realizing it. Your conversations, choices, and even the so-called coincidences are all influenced by forces that you've been conditioned to overlook. Beneath the surface of ordinary reality, there is a subtle field humming with life. A realm where time bends, opportunities align, and events unfold with a precision that feels too perfect to be random. Most people don't notice this because they have been taught to focus only on the visible, dismissing the deeper layers that are quietly shaping their lives. The truth, though, is both simple and profound. There exists a dimension of reality that doesn't adhere to the rigid rules you've been taught to believe in. The endless grind, the constant chase, they are illusions. Struggle is not the price of progress. Here, reality responds not to the effort you exert, but to the frequency you sustain. Those who understand this don't chase after their desires. They draw them in. They align with them. Those who have mastered this principle have shaped the course of their lives, and often the lives of others, without most of the world ever noticing. But once you catch a glimpse of this truth, there's no turning back. You've just been told that there is more to life than what you see. A hidden layer of reality is operating right where you stand. To understand this, you must first recognize that the world you've been conditioned to trust is merely a carefully constructed frame. This frame is built from beliefs, measurements, and rules that seem absolute. Yet, they only describe a limited portion of existence. Within this narrow view, reality appears stable, predictable, and bound by the same mechanical laws for everyone. But beyond this frame lies the secret dimension they don't want you to see, a dimension woven from energy, perception, and intention, where the so-called laws bend to the frequency you hold. This broader spectrum isn't just another physical location, it's a state of consciousness. The third dimension you are familiar with operates on the perception of separation. You and the world are two distinct entities. Time moves in a straight line, and success comes only through endless effort. This is the mindset that keeps billions of people trapped in the same cycle, endlessly chasing outcomes, competing for limited resources, and measuring progress by exhaustion rather than alignment. It's the dimension most people never question because they have been taught to believe it is the only reality. But overlaid upon it is another frequency, the fifth dimension. Here, separation dissolves. Everything is connected through an invisible web of energy. Time no longer behaves as a sequence of events, but as a field of simultaneous possibilities. In this space, the things you desire aren't distant goals that require years of struggle. They are already present in potential form, waiting for you to align with them. Just as a radio station constantly broadcasts its signal, whether you're tuned in or not, the fifth dimension is already here. The only thing that makes the difference is your ability to tune your consciousness to receive it. This shift in awareness is subtle, yet revolutionary. It flips the logic of reality on its head. In the third dimension, you are taught to set a goal, map out the steps, and work tirelessly toward it. In the fifth, creation begins within you, starting with a sustained vibration of already having what you desire. The external world is not the cause of your state, it is the effect. When you hold a coherent inner vibration, charged with clear intention and genuine emotion, you create a magnetic force that attracts the circumstances needed to reflect that state. This is the first truth about the hidden dimension. It is not a place you go. It is a state you embody. Once you begin to experience even a glimpse of it, the rigid boundaries of the third dimension begin to crack. Coincidences stop seeming random. Encounters start to happen at just the right moment. At this point, you realize that everything in the universe is part of a higher design. The patterns you thought were random are part of a divine plan that aligns with the frequency you emit. This awareness doesn't just shift your perception, it transforms your entire existence. You no longer need to chase after your desires. You attract them effortlessly because you are in tune with the cosmic flow of the universe, a flow that was always meant for you. Remember, as you walk this path of awareness and alignment, you're tapping into something much greater than yourself. A divine order that operates behind the scenes, guiding and shaping your reality. Quantum Aligned invites you to explore this deeper dimension. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and open yourself to the possibilities that await when you align with the frequency of the universe. Events begin to unfold in ways that seem too precise to be mere coincidence. You're no longer fighting against the current. Instead, you are allowing it to carry you exactly where you need to go. The more you witness this unfolding, the more difficult it becomes to ignore. This is why this dimension has remained largely hidden from common understanding. The moment you realize you can step beyond the limited frame, you no longer feel bound by the rules of the old reality. The third dimension forces you to play the game, but once you begin to see beyond its confines, new questions arise. How does this hidden dimension actually work? The secret is simple. The fifth dimension is not a place to travel to, but a frequency you generate. Ancient traditions, long before modern science, hinted at this truth. Philosophical teachings spoke of multiple planes of existence interwoven within the same space. These teachings weren't mere metaphors, but profound instructions for tuning the mind and heart to a higher frequency that exists alongside the reality you already experience. Every action, every thought, and every moment has its divine purpose, as it aligns with the greater plan of the universe. In modern science, though still cautious, we are beginning to witness glimpses of this divine order. Research into brainwave coherence reveals how mental focus can bring the body into states of harmony. Studies of the heart's electromagnetic field show that our emotions radiate far beyond the physical body, influencing not just our personal well-being, but also the environment around us. Even quantum physics, with its observer effect, has demonstrated that consciousness can influence the behavior of particles at the smallest scale. Though these findings are often presented cautiously, they slowly weaken the old narrative that reality is fixed and that human consciousness is powerless to shape it. In the third dimension, creation is presented as linear. Set a goal, take a series of actions, and eventually arrive at your outcome. But in the fifth dimension, distance no longer exists between you and what you desire. There is simply a gap in resonance. When your frequency matches the frequency of your desired reality, that reality collapses into your experience. This is the hidden mechanism that those who have mastered the flow of life understand. By sustaining an inner state of already having what you want, the world reorganizes itself to reflect that state. In this model, physical action still happens, but it is no longer the driving force. It becomes the natural result of your alignment, not the means to achieve it. Think of it as broadcasting a signal. A weak or scattered signal gets lost in the noise, never reaching its destination. But a clear, emotionally charged signal cuts through the static and finds its match instantly. The fifth dimension is this matching process in action. When intention and emotion merge into coherence, you stop pushing against reality, and instead, you begin to pull it toward you. This is the true architecture of the hidden dimension. Once you understand and live by this principle, you no longer rely on systems that profit from keeping you in a state of endless struggle. You align with the divine flow of life. Understanding how the hidden dimension operates is one thing, but realizing that you are already touching it is another. The transition from the third to the fifth dimension often begins subtly. You may notice that certain environments feel denser than before, or that you can sense the true intention behind someone's words, regardless of what they are saying. This heightened sensitivity is not a product of imagination. It is the natural result of tuning into a higher frequency, a divine energy field that aligns with your true self. Your energy system begins filtering experiences differently, making you more aware of what resonates with your highest purpose and what distorts your alignment. Once this awareness sets in, it becomes difficult to ignore. The veil between the visible and hidden reality thins, and the truth of the higher dimensions begins to seep into your daily life. As your frequency rises, another sign becomes evident. Old emotional patterns, memories, and unresolved pain begin to surface. In the third dimension, these emotions might have been buried for years, covered by distractions. But in the fifth dimension, they surface not to overwhelm you, but to be dissolved. Cycles of emotional processing accelerate. What once seemed like a lifelong struggle can shift in weeks or even days, because the higher vibration does not sustain the density of old emotional patterns. They simply cannot anchor themselves in this new frequency. This clearing process makes space for the coherence required to remain in the higher dimensions. Relationships, too, will shift. People whose energy once aligned with yours may drift away without conflict because your paths no longer resonate. Manipulation, dependency, or emotional rescuing are no longer tolerable in this higher state. Love in the fifth dimension no longer means trying to fix or carry others. It means respecting their pace while maintaining your own alignment. These shifts, though sometimes uncomfortable, are liberating. They are the natural result of aligning with your divine purpose and with the greater flow of the universe. As you embrace this transition, you realize that what once seemed like obstacles are merely opportunities for growth. Quantum Aligned invites you to explore this transformative process. Remember to subscribe and like this video to continue on your journey of aligning with the higher frequencies that shape our lives. They signal that you are no longer bound by the same contracts that once kept you confined to the third dimension. Your life is now beginning to align with the hidden architecture of the universe, an order they never wanted you to see. As relationships, environments, and inner patterns shift, you start to realize the real key to staying in this higher state. The reason this dimension has been kept from you is simple. Once you learn to live here, you are no longer moved by the external forces that influence most of the world. In this state, you become a conscious magnet. Just as a skilled pilot constantly monitors their instruments, you begin to monitor your frequency. You make small, precise adjustments before any turbulence can pull you off course. This isn't about achieving perfection. It's about awareness. The moment you sense your vibration shifting, you don't force circumstances. Instead, you recalibrate your inner field so that the outer world continues to respond in harmony with your true self. A vital part of this mastery comes from protecting your energetic environment. In the third dimension, decisions about where to be and who to be with are often made out of habit, obligation, or convenience. But in the fifth dimension, your choices are guided by vibration. You start asking, does this space nourish my frequency, or does it drain it? Does this conversation expand me or contract me? This awareness will naturally reshape your life, your work, your connections, and even the places you call home. At first, this may seem restrictive, but it is actually liberating. By refusing to spend energy on things that are out of alignment, you free your energy field to attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your true state. In this higher reality, physical actions still matter, but they no longer come first. They become the natural follow-up to your alignment, the outward movement of energy already in motion. When your mind and heart operate in coherence, your words begin to materialize with less delay. The separation between thought, word, and manifestation narrows. This is why living as a conscious magnet feels almost effortless compared to the exhausting chase in the third dimension. Here, reality flows toward you, drawn by the frequency you maintain. This is the hidden power of the dimension they don't want you to see, the quiet, unstoppable pull of a field in perfect alignment. As the fifth dimension anchors into your life, the need to fight against circumstances fades. Resistance gives way to acceptance, not as resignation, but as trust in the divine intelligence shaping every event. You no longer see obstacles as punishments, but as portals. In the third dimension, a problem is a wall. In the fifth, it is a doorway disguised as difficulty. A stable state of coherence doesn't just change your personal life, it alters the collective field. Systems built on fear, scarcity, and distraction lose their strength when enough people stop feeding them energetically. These systems don't collapse overnight, but they begin to erode as their foundation weakens. The pace of your journey will not match anyone else's. Each soul follows its own path, shaped by choices that transcend this lifetime. Comparing progress with others becomes pointless. Your only compass is the state of your own energy. Ultimately, the fifth dimension shifts the center of control in your life from external forces to your own inner field. Every choice, thought, and emotion becomes deliberate. No longer dictated by circumstance, you become the creator of your own experience. This is where the real power lies, not in trying to control the outer world, but in becoming the kind of inner world that the outer must reflect. Living here requires discipline. It is the practice of holding the frequency of what you choose. Even when the evidence hasn't yet caught up, you remain the keeper of your own field, knowing that reality will always match the vibration you sustain. The secret dimension they don't want you to see is not hidden far away. It is hidden in plain sight. It is the dimension where the chase ends and the magnetic pull begins, a place where you stop being a piece on the board and become the player shaping the game. Once you step into it, you can never fully return to the old way of thinking. Everything circles back to frequency. Sustain the state that aligns with your desires, and reality has no option but to echo it. This is the quiet power that has been used in small, guarded circles for centuries. Now it is in your hands. The question is simple. Will you continue living in the world you were given, or will you tune into the one you were always meant to create?